So in 1 Nephi chapter 21, there's a lot of promises made to the children of Israel, to the house of Israel, about how the Lord's going to bring them back and fulfill all the promises he made to them. And he's going to do it through the Gentiles. And he's going to set up his standard through the Gentiles to all the people. And I made a connection in this reading that I hadn't made before that really kind of opened my eyes, and I hope it opens yours as well. It's found in verse 22 of 1 Nephi chapter 21. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms," speaking to the house of Israel. So the house of Israel's sons, the Gentiles, will bring in their arms. "And thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders." Okay, so you have this image of, in the last days, these Gentiles who the Lord sets up his standard amongst are going to be bringing, I imagine, happy little smiling boys and girls, some in their arms and some on their shoulders, and they're bringing them back to the God, their God. This thought then connected me to the allegory of the olive tree found in Jacob chapter 5. And I want you to listen to this and see if it sounds somewhat similar. "And the branches of the natural tree will I graft in again into the natural tree." So the natural tree is the house of Israel, and the branches are those scattered branches that he scattered in different parts of the vineyard, this olive vineyard. Okay, so in the last days he's saying he's going to take those natural branches that were originally from the natural trees, like the first trees he planted, and bring them back to the first trees that he planted. And it says in 68, "And the branches of the natural tree will I graft into the natural branches of the tree, and thus will I bring them together again, that they shall bring forth the natural fruit, and they shall be one." So he's saying he's going to bring those children of Israel back to he's going to gather them in the last days, and he's using branches to describe that and olive trees to describe that. But then a few verses later, he describes who's going to be doing that. "And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard sent his servant, and the servant went and did as the Lord had commanded him, and brought other servants, and they were few. And it came to pass that the servants did go and labor with their mights, and the Lord of the vineyard labored also with them, and they did obey the commandments of the Lord of the vineyard in all things." That original servant he was talking about we know that as Joseph Smith, and the Lord restored his church through him, and since his days there have been servants that have been called that help in this gathering process, and we, as just members of the church, are also helping. We are servants, or can be servants in the vineyard if we choose to help people come into the fold of God. And I had just connected that image from 1 Nephi 21. I just imagined people, servants, carrying in their arms bundles of these natural branches back to the natural olive tree, and on their shoulders these bundles of branches, and they're gathering them from afar and then bringing them back to the natural olive tree and grafting them in and helping them gain that graft and gain strength. And that image just was really powerful when I read this time around.